Okay, so now this is the action phase. This is the main part of the game. So let's not go too deep into that, but just like have a quick overview of how this works. So basically, starting with the first player, going clockwise, player will take turns, and they can either pass, take one action and pass, or take two actions. If they take two actions, they cannot pass this turn. That means they have to wait till the beginning of their next turn to do so. What can you do on your turn? Well, you can, as an action, just discard one of your die and get the bonus. So this is lowering your unrest. Lower is this way. And you discard a die. So that's one of my two actions. As a second action, I could lower something else. I could use one of my ability, actually, either on one of my building or on the town itself. So what I'll do is I will lower it by one. See, there's a purple arrow going down, so that means lower by one a purple die. I will gain one unrest. So gaining unrest is this way. Gaining approval goes this way. There's arrow on the board, and then I gain this here. I gain one favor. Here it goes. So basically, I have to pay all of this in the on the left side. This is how you read a card. Everything on the left side need to be completely paid, completely fulfilled. So lowering your die and gaining one unrest. If I cannot do that, there's no way I can use this building or this ability. And then I do as much as possible, not choosing, but as much as possible of the right side. So as an example here, I could remove two waste, right? But if I have just one, I can still do this card. I just have to remove one instead of two. That's okay. So that's two action, right? Let's read a little bit let's learn how to read the cards. So basically, like I said, you can do whatever is here. Like for this one, you could remove one of your good. You use 2 charge on the card, and then you gain 3 money for this one. This we just did. This means you can lower any of your die, exhaust the building, right? And any of your die could become 1 or 2, right? And the building will be exhausted. That means you cannot do that anymore. Some buildings have banner, either orange or blue. So this is a blue one, this is an orange one. Blue or reaction. So that means when the thing in the blue banner happen, this at the bottom is a free action you can resolve. Doesn't take an action actually. So you could pay money, exhaust the building, gain point per citizens here if I wanted to. The orange one is a condition, so that means you have to check your neighbor, and they also know that you have this building, right? They can see the orange building on your side, and they can ask you, or they can compare and be like, okay, so what should I be aware of? So if I have more ways than one of my neighbor, I can do this here at the bottom. If I don't, there's no way I can use this building. So this is something you have to be aware of. You have to be like, I see my neighbor have the same orange building. I might ask him what exactly about, right, during the game. Just so I'm aware, I have to play the game a little bit. I have to be careful not to give him too much. I don't want him to be using this building maybe. Lastly, as an action, well, when a die actually go to 0, okay, you have one spot here. This spot is for completed die. You just have the 1. So let's say I want to do this here, gain 1 point. I have a 1, so that's okay, but I cannot lower it to 0, right? I don't just discard it. What I do is actually I take the die, put it here. It's the same as putting it on 0. I gain my point, so I'm at 16 now. Now I have a completed die. I can score it. Scoring a die, actually see what they do, based on the color, they'll do something different. And this is also an action now. And the timing is important for scoring die. The thing is, if I don't score this one and I have another one that I need to put there at some point, well, I can't. Either I have to discard this one or I discard the new one, but nothing happened. So I kind of want to use it at some point. Scoring a die, if you score purple die, you fulfill all of the entertainment need of your city. People want to move in, so you fill up all of your own. So right now you just have 2, but during the game you might have a building giving you more. So if I have a mobile home here, I have 1 more spot. So when citizen comes in, they actually comes on their back like this, and that means they are inactive citizen, right? They cannot be used for anything. They stay on their home like that. And at some point I will explain they will actually stand up. So this is for scoring this one. So that means you discard it, but you realize something a little bit bonus like that. If it's an orange one, okay, that means you can either remove 1 waste from your city, or you can remove an exhausted card. So I could remove this, and now I could remove that and use this building again this turn. And with the blue one, if I do remove it, I scored the dice, I remove the die, and I can strike a deal actually. This is the turn, this is the Metropolis board, this is where you have your deal and your turn, your round. So we're on round 1 in the green, so that means this is here filled with green cards. So on the yellow, you fill up with yellow, orange, and blue with blue. So those deals are actually one-time use. You pay the top part and you get the bottom part. They are always worth it. They might be situational, but they're always good. So for this one, for example, you gain 2 ways, but you also gain a favor. Or you pay 3 cash and you get 1 citizen. All stuff like that. So you take 1 and you realize what's on top. And you open a new one. Discard a citizen to get 1 favor. So those are the way you score this. Lastly, I want to go over the citizens. Okay, so like this, they are inactive. So when people move in your town, they come in inactive, laying down. It's called moving in. They just moved in. Okay, but they're not ready yet. They need to settle in. And to settle in at the very beginning of your turn, just at the beginning of your turn, before taking any action or having the option to pass, you can actually remove goods, put the good under the citizens, and get money, right? You get 3 money for doing that. And you can do this for any of your neighbor. So that means you're the player on your left and the player on your right. After this, after giving food to goods to the inactive citizen, I start my turn, I remove those goods, and I stand up the citizen. So now he's active, he's settling. And so basically you understand that since it's just at the beginning of the turn, I had to add citizen to my city, right? So there's no way I can provide goods to them right away. So that means that give an option, that give the chance to my player on the left and right to actually give those food, get some money out of that. But I also see if they do have goods at that point, right? So if they don't, there's no way they can get some before starting their turns. So that will go all around to me, and now I can give the goods to my citizens. So having citizens, it's useful because during the game you'll have buildings, new buildings, and those buildings have cost in citizens. So to put this one in game, I need to use 2 citizens. So let's say I want to put this building here. There it is. So what happened is I had 1 charge first thing first, I add 1 charge on this building. Okay, I gain 2 waste. Building something, create a lot of waste. So, gain 2 waste in my town. Okay, but I also need to pay 2 citizens. So I pay 1, 2, they are removed, and I gain 2 points per citizen. This is scoring a citizen. So you can score dice and you can score citizen. The 2 things you can score in the game. Scoring citizen is actually gaining 2 points per citizen I scored. Like, they moved in, they settled in, and they found a job. This is exactly what they want to do. So 1, 2, 1, 2 for the 2 guys. But obviously, if my approval was very high, it would be 6 points per citizen. And the other thing you need to understand, let's say I do that, but instead I just have the 1 here. I can also use active citizen from my neighbor. So I put that building in place, I remove 1 of my citizen, and I remove 1 of my neighbor citizen. So I score 2 points, but my neighbor will score his own thing. So maybe he'll score 4 because he had a lot of approval. So that's helping him. So it's all about finding a balance, right? With your approval, with your citizens, using your friends. Adding citizens to your city give the opportunity to your neighbors to make money by selling them goods. But it's also a good, selling them goods will make them active, and that means you'll be able to score points. So there's like a balance in between all that. And when you're all done at the end of your turn, you pass. If you were the first one to pass, you gain 1 approval. As soon as you pass, you also check your neighbor, and if you have the most waste, you actually lose 1 point per waste. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say at some point during the game, I see that my neighbor have 3, right? I might want to remove 2 before passing. And if during his turn, because he keep playing, he remove 2 more, well, now you have just 1, so he can pass easy. So maybe no one will lose point during this round, or maybe everyone. If the timing is wrong, maybe everyone will lose points based on their waste. So you have to be careful about that. And lastly, you pay $1 per citizen you have in your town because they're not working, or you remove them. So I might be like, okay, I'll keep this one because he's active, so I pay 1, but I don't want this one, so I just remove him. And that's how it works.